Hello everyone, welcome to JS Gigs and my name is Deepak. Here in this tutorial, we are going to be talking about the Angular 18 update. Angular 18 comes with a lot of great benefits to the developer and it also, so here, if you look at my screen, Angular 18, when it was launched a few days ago, this is the official page, this is the official announcement and basically the article which was published by this developer called Minko Grid. Angular 18 was the most sought after version of Angular after the Angular 2. So here in this tutorial, if you look at, we are going to be basically going over this particular documentation and we will see that, what Angular 18 advertises and we will try to check if it's really true. So what are the things that it states when it released the Angular V18? So it says, hey, I have listed down a few things. So first one is it basically makes an application zoneless. So what I mean by that is the zone.js was earlier used in order to detect the changes in the application, but the newer application precisely after Angular 17 and in Angular 18 we have made it, the Angular team says that they have made significant changes in it. So from Angular 18 onwards it's going to be zoneless. So when it is zoneless, it has certain benefits, which is low bundle size, faster load, readable stake trace, simple debugging, improving composability for micro frontend, and interoperability with other frameworks. So this is these are some of the 5 benefits that Angular has advertised in their official announcement that zoneless Angular application would bring into play. Now, there are a few other top points that it has spoken about. So the other one is the deferrable views, meaning you can actually defer a few views. And in that case, also, Angular suggests that when you defer a few views, it basically makes your application a little more performant and the bundle size also reduces, and that's something we are going to be validating in a moment, right? So the other thing is that built-in control flow are more stable. That's another point that Angular made in its announcement, which is the control flow, which was in Angular for a couple of releases, has become a little more stable. So we will see how it is stable and what value does it bring to on the table. The other one is an event replay, which is a very exciting thing. Event replay meaning you, for example, if you are clicking around on a website where the application hasn't really loaded, those clicks usually go in vain. But from the event replay, you can actually capture those events and replay them whenever you wish to. So that's something which is very interesting, and that's something we'll also see and validate if it is really useful or not. That's something we'll see that how it is really going to be helping the developer community. Right. The other thing is that it redirect to as a function in a router path, which means that if you look at if you can recall from the top of your memory, you may notice that redirect to used to be a property in path object of Angular router. So now redirect to has become a function. In that case, you can basically write a complex logic where exactly you need this particular route should go to, and that's something they have made it. That's something we'll also validate in Angular 18 and the newer build system. And then as they guarantee that the newer build system is faster, performant, and also easy to use, and it has a lot of benefits if developers are using it. That's something which is also listed in this particular documentation down below, and that's something we'll validate it in a moment, right? So that's the other thing that Angular release talks about is that not so which I have listed down in not so important updates. Why not so important update? Because that's something which is not really going to be changing the developer experience per se in terms of releasing the app or in terms of building the app. However, it is a developer experience change in terms of reading the documentation, which means that they have used web containers. The web containers are precisely StackBlitz product, and that's something which most of the people have started already using it, meaning they don't really put the entire StackBlitz in using iframe. Then people start using the web container, which is basically a runtime for Node.js application on your browser. So that's something that Angular has made in the documentation. That's something we will also validate. The other thing which is again not so important, is the default location for the documentation has changed to angular.dev from angular.io. That's something also we will validate. So these are the things that we are going to be validating. So in order to validate these things, I first of all need an application which is developed using an older Angular version. So if you remember, the very first tutorial of mine where I posted on my channel was this particular application that we had built. So let me just write it down, some username and password, and upon click on the login button, it takes you to the dashboard page. As you can see, this dashboard page receives all this data from an API. That API is something which I have locally developed. using the Macoun. And this particular application is the application which basically has 3 different routes. As you can see, dashboard student, dashboard subject marks, and home. And this application was built in Angular 17. So now we are going to be migrating this particular application in Angular 18, and we will also see after migrating this particular application is that how performant it is, and we will validate it against all these points over here. So this tutorial is going to be pretty exciting. I'm really excited to put this into perspective and really validate the Angular 18 documentation, and really want to validate it with the hands-on exercise that I'm going to be doing in the next few tutorials, right? So this particular application, which is developed on Angular 17, is which I'm going to be changing. So now if you look at this, it has almost all the other thing that you can imagine. All right, so we are going to be basically changing this particular application, and we will see that how it really works, right? So there's something that also we had seen in my previous one when I had prepared the Angular tutorial for the first time. So this is the application which we are going to be changing. So stay tuned if you want to know more about what Angular 18 brings on to the table, and we will also see that how to upgrade your older Angular application to the latest one. And while you update, what really happens in the background is something that we are going to be seeing. And also we will validate if it is really have become performant, and we will also validate if all the things which are advertised in their Angular 18 release is really true or not. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm gonna be this is gonna be a pretty exciting journey validating on Angular 18 the things that have become newly available to the developer, and also things that Angular says that they have changed, right? So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you in the next tutorial wherein we will start changing the Angular 17 application to the Angular 18 application, and we will validate each one of these points one after the other. So thanks a lot for listening in, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, if you haven't really subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and also hit the bell icon in case if you have if you want to receive the notification. So let's say if I post a new video, you would be notified in case if you want to really read about this, right? So please do share these videos with all the other Angular developers, because this is going to be really helpful for all the people who work on Angular. So thanks a lot once again, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be seeing you in the next one.